Let's now talk about what this looks like over in Attract World. With the advent and continuation of our social media platforms. Over in the chat, which social media platform do you see kind of popping, being talked about the most, being shared the most, and people using the most right now? What platform kind of comes to mind, or what platforms are you seeing as like the trends right now? Schiffer says TikTok. I would agree with that big time. TikTok seems to be the trend, says Martin. Yeah. And trends will come and go. We've seen them all, but there are things that we can do to take advantage of them. But there's something that ends up happening that I want to prevent you from doing as well, because while social media is amazing, and I'm so glad I'm alive in today's day and age to have this platform to be able to say something with a couple keystrokes and a tap of my finger, and it has the chance to be broadcasted out to the entire world. Yeah, Thomas says it's popping for a lot of people now too. And with all of these trends going, we're going to see more people hopping onto them and more people doing the absolute most and then ruining the platforms too. What I don't want for you to do is to fall into that trap. And so what I want to prevent you from doing is doing what a lot of other folks are right now, which is, I think they're kind of yelling. They're yelling their marketing message into the marketplace. They are kind of going over the top of their audience because they see Alex Hormozy or Greg O'Gallagher or insert influencer here that's doing the TikTok reels that look great. And then now they can be seen as a leader. So now they're just going just creating a bunch of stuff just to see their own face, just to hear their own voice. And so instead of yelling from the treetops and from the mountaintops, so to say, I want you to take a different approach. And I think that the approach that is working and that's going to work most for you guys here, for the coaches who are called to a higher purpose, is instead of yelling, I want you to be compelling. Feel free to unmute. Take a second and think about it. And then I want you to unmute everybody, and tell me what you think compelling means to you. What does that bring up? How does that make you feel? What does that make you think about? Or what do you think that means? Shifra?
I think it's to embody your results. Like for me personally, if I want to share the results of actually being with peace of mind, I'm not going to be screaming. I'm going to go into myself and embody the results that I want, as you say, to attract, right? For them to see what they are looking forward to if they work with me, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is all about putting your best self forward and creating a message that calls people into the next step. What are your thoughts, Martin?
Well, I think on from my side, it would be to present yourself with confidence and competence in the sense of so connected to their side. So one, you have the knowledge as the expert, but then from their side is like we understand them. So just like you mentioned just now, it's like, sure, we give this advice, but then there's the real world. So there's like, there's what's actually going on. So I'm not telling you just theory. I'm recognizing and sympathizing, empathizing with your situation, but at the same time, you can't stay down. You got to rise up. So I think compelling, rather than yelling, I'm the greatest, it'd be more like confidently earning their trust and you telling them you're the greatest. Like you're the, like you encourage us, right? Like, so for me, that's what would be compelling. That would set us aside, which is, to be honest, hard for me to dial down the salesy because that's what I've done for 30 years. So that's how I feel about it. I don't know if I explained it right, but
I think you did. I think you hit it right on the head, my friend. And it's what we've talked about a little bit over the last couple of weeks too. Some of these were one-off conversations. Sometimes it was in the group. It's the idea of like the inner intention versus the outer intention. It's about like, we have our goals as coaches, right? To be getting more clients, to be getting more success stories, and to be growing our monthly recurring revenue, and to make things repeatable and more sustainable and predictable. but that's not necessarily the goal of the clients you have in your marketplace. And so how do we subjugate ourselves and our needs and get underneath them and put them first and compel them in a way and call them to a bigger action and share the right message at the right time to the right person so that they play a totally different kind of game with your help? Like, what does that do for them once they actually make the leap and the decision to cut away the nonsense, to cut away the noise, and to join your program and to work with you and to your help? And Martin, I think that hopefully here today and over the next couple of weeks, we can work together to help to take whatever you're seeing as the selling part and to modify it in a way to make it really work well in this marketplace. Because we've all seen, and I appreciate you sharing so much, brother, we've all seen the world change, right? As 2019 rolled into 2020, we saw, like, I don't know if you recall, but it was a little bit of the same feeling. When you guys think back to that, right? We had a lot of people, regardless of where you're at in coaching, where income took a dip and where scarcity kind of happened. Everybody kind of pumped the brakes. And then all of a sudden, at some point in time, come May, June, July, things started to turn around a little bit. And it was kind of like, okay, this is different, but there's now people signing up still. And people are still doing things. And while people are at home doing self-studies, and yeah, the gym doesn't work anymore, but people are now, it's like normal for everyone to work out at home. And like Amazon didn't deliver for like a week or two, but now they're like delivering everything. And now I can get anything that I want. And we adjusted and our markets adjusted and we came out on the other side better for it. How many of you guys were operating during the pandemic and getting things started, but also still kind of wondering how it was all going to go? So if you can make it through that, then I think we can see or will see in this the opportunity that lies in front of us, given where we're at in the state of the world right now. We need to stop yelling from the treetops, and we need to start instead whispering the right words into the right ears of our people. We need to go from yelling to compelling.